Hello everyone, this is Mr. Muhammad Salama and I'm going to introduce to you Aim High 5 Unit 3 Eureka Vocabulary. Let we start with Unit 3 Eureka. Before we read the text, we have here to think about some discoveries in front of you, like the penicillin, the gravity, Uranus, DNA, and think about their discoverers. Number one, Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton discovered what? Discovered the gravity, yes. Number two, Watson and Crick. Watson and Crick discovered by chance the DNA. William Herschel. William Herschel discovered by chance Uranus. Number four, Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming discovered by chance the penicillin. Next, we have to read the text on your student's book. It's about the origin of inspiration. It talks about a story which can be real from history about Archimedes. Now you have to read the text on pages 22 and 23. Within the text there are some vocabulary which are highlighted. Try to figure out the meanings of each highlighted word. Pause the video till you finish reading. Stop. Never trust everything you read. While I was searching the internet, I found something interesting. I mean that there is another story, this specific topic. Alright, check out this video and think of which story is likely to be true.
When you think of Archimedes' Eureka moment, you probably think of this. As it turns out, it may have been more like this. In the 3rd century BC, Hieron, king of the Sicilian city of Syracuse, chose Archimedes to supervise an engineering project of unprecedented scale. Hieron commissioned a sailing vessel 50 times bigger than a standard ancient warship. Named the Syracusia after his city, Hieron wanted to construct the largest ship ever, which was destined to be given as a present for Egypt's ruler, Ptolemy. But could a boat the size of a palace possibly float? In Archimedes' day, no one had attempted anything like this. It was like asking, can a mountain fly? King Hieron had a lot riding on that question. Hundreds of workmen were to labor for years on constructing the Syracusia out of beams of pine and fir from Mount Etna, ropes from hemp grown in Spain, and pitch from France. The top deck, on which 8 watchtowers were to stand, was to be supported not by columns, but by vast wooden images of Atlas, holding the world on his shoulders. On the ship's bow, a massive catapult would be able to fire 180-pound stone missiles. For the enjoyment of its passengers, the ship was to feature a flower-lined promenade, a sheltered swimming pool, and bathhouse with heated water, a library filled with books and statues, a temple to the goddess Aphrodite, and a gymnasium. And just to make things more difficult for Archimedes, Hieron intended to pack the vessel full of cargo. 400 tons of grain, 10,000 jars of pickled fish, 74 tons of drinking water, and 600 tons of wool. It would have carried well over 1,000 people on board, including 600 soldiers. And it housed 20 horses in separate stalls. To build something of this scale only for that to sink on its maiden voyage, well, let's just say that failure wouldn't have been a pleasant option for Archimedes. So he took on the problem. Will it sink? Perhaps he was sitting in the bathhouse one day, wondering how a heavy bathtub can float, when inspiration came to him. An object partially immersed in a fluid is buoyed up by a force equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. In other words, if a 2,000-ton Syracusia displaced exactly 2,000 tons of water, it would just barely float. If it displaced 4,000 tons of water, it would float with no problem. Of course, if it only displaced 1,000 tons of water, well, Chiron wouldn't be too happy. This is the Law of Buoyancy, and engineers still call it Archimedes Principle. It explains why a steel supertanker can float as easily as a wooden rowboat or a bathtub. If the weight of water displaced by the vessel below the keel is equivalent to the vessel's weight, whatever is above the keel will remain afloat above the waterline. This sounds a lot like another story involving Archimedes and a bathtub, and it's possible that's because they're actually the same story, twisted by the vagaries of history. The classical story of Archimedes' Eureka and subsequent streak through the streets centers around a crown, or corona in Latin. At the core of the Syracusia story is a keel, or korone in Greek. Could one have been mixed up for the other? We may never know. On the day the Syracusia arrived in Egypt on its first and only voyage, we can only imagine how residents of Alexandria thronged the harbor to marvel at the arrival of this majestic floating castle. This extraordinary vessel was the Titanic of the ancient world, except without the sinking, thanks to our pal Archimedes.
After watching, back again to the vocabulary. The first word is account. Account is a noun. An account means a written or spoken description of something that has happened. A synonym of it is to report. An example: he was too shocked to give an account of what had happened. Next word, monumental. Monumental is an adjective. It means an important achievement which based on many years of work. The synonym of it is historic, significant, unforgettable. An example: Charles Darwin's monumental study, The Origin of Species. The next word is commission. Commission is a verb. It means to formally ask someone to produce a work of art. The synonym of it is to command, to assign, to delegate, as here in the example. Michelangelo was commissioned to paint the Sistine Chapel in Rome. Craft. Craft is a verb. It means to make something using a special skill, especially with your hands. A synonym of it is to fabricate. An example: each doll is crafted individually by a specialist. Next word is suspicious. Suspicious is an adjective meaning thinking that someone might be guilty of doing something wrong. A synonym is doubtful. An example: some of his colleagues at work became suspicious of his behavior. Next word is considerably. Next word is considerably. It's an adverb. It means much or a lot. A synonym is greatly. An example: it's considerably colder today. The next word is density. Density is the thickness of a solid, gas, or a liquid. The synonym of it is thickness. As here in the example, areas of high population density. Next word is exacerbate. Exacerbate, it means to make a bad situation worse. A synonym is worsen or to complicate something. An example: the recession has exacerbated this problem. Next word is emerge. Emerge is a verb. It means to come out or to appear. Maybe it can be used with ideas. Synonym of this word is to rise or to appear. As in the example, evidence has emerged to contradict earlier claims. Next word is volume. Volume here means the total amount of something. The synonym of it is quantity or amount. An example: the volume of the container measures 10,000 cubic meters. Next word is submerge. Submerge is a verb. It means to cover something completely with water or another liquid. A synonym of it is to drown or overflow. An example: the tunnel entrance was submerged by rising seawater. Next word is displace. Displace is a verb. It means to force something out of its usual place or position. A synonym of it is dislocate or force out. An example: the water displaced by the landslides created a tidal wave. Next word is irrelevant. Irrelevant is an adjective which means not useful or not relating to a particular situation and therefore not important. A synonym of it is insignificant or unimportant. An example: we are focusing too much on irrelevant details. Next word is to take a break. To take a break is a verb. It means to take a period of time when you stop working in order to rest, eat, etc. The synonym of it is to rest. An example: we'll take a short break for lunch, then start again at 2 o'clock. Next word is expertise. Expertise is a noun. It means special skills or knowledge that you learn by experience or training. A synonym: experience. As here in the example, the technical expertise was provided by a Japanese company. Here we have to match the highlighted words in the text with these definitions. Number 1. Something not important or connected with a situation. It means irrelevant. Number 2. Expert knowledge of something. Expertise. Number 3. To have a rest or to relax after or in between activities. It means to take a break. Number 4. The amount of space that an object or a substance fills. Volume. Number 5. Appear or come forward out of nothing. Emerge. Number 6. Putting something underwater. Submerging. Number 7. Moved or shifted something from its normal position. Displaced. Number 8. Made something worse. Exacerbated. Number 9. Very much or significantly. Considerably. Number 10. The thickness of a solid, liquid, or gas. Density. Number 11. A written or spoken description of something that has happened. An account. Number 12. Showing distrust. Suspicious. Number 13. Huge and very important, having a great significance. It means monumental. Number 14. Made or created something by hand using special skills. It means crafted. Number 15. To have officially asked someone to do or to make something for you. It means commissioned. Here we have an application. On the vocabulary, we have to use one of these words to fill in the gaps. Number 1. Joanna is an excellent teacher. Her space is widely recognized. Her what? Her expertise. Number 2. The witnesses had to give an what of how the accident happened. The witnesses had to give an account. An account. Number 3. Our teacher was angry, but Joan's rude remarks exacerbated. Number 4. The what of the liquid in this jar is about half a liter. The volume. Number 4. The volume of the liquid in this jar is about half a liter. Number 5. A Mercedes is space more expensive than a Fiat. A Mercedes is considerably more expensive. Considerably. Number 6. The watt of some metals makes them too heavy for use in planes or helicopters. Number 6, the density. The density. Number 7, the committee would like to space an artist to create a sculpture for the community center. The committee would like to commission an artist. Number 8, I am highly space of Sandy's offer to help us. I don't think she actually wants us to succeed. I'm highly suspicious. Number 9, Jack space as the star of our singing class with his brilliant performance last week. Jack emerged as the star of our singing class with his brilliant performance last week. Number 10, the goalkeeper's accidental death was a what loss to the team. The goalkeeper's accidental death was a monumental loss to the team. Number 11, natural disasters such as flooding can space thousands of people from their homes. Natural disasters such as flooding can displace thousands of people from their homes. Number 12, the stolen car was completely what in the river? Was completely submerged. Number 13, the jeweler was a beautiful necklace. The jeweler crafted a beautiful necklace. Number 14, I'm exhausted, so I'm going to take a break for a while. Number 15, to win an argument, you need to be clear, concise, and to the point. Don't mention things that are complicated or irrelevant. We have here some prefixes that they have specific meanings, like the word ultra. Ultra means far beyond average or to an extreme degree. The opposite of this word is infra, like an ultra-modern building, or he receives treatment by ultraviolet rays. Another prefix is mal. Mal means badly or bad, like a malformed limb, like it means wrongly shaped. Another one is auto. Auto means off or by yourself, operating independently without help, like what? An autofocus camera. The next one is semi. Semi means done or exists or partially, not completely, exactly half. Like here, semi-literate people, I mean semi-annual publication. Semi here, it means not completely. Anti or anti, it means opposing or against something. It's the opposite of pro. Anti-nuclear means opposing the use of nuclear weapon and power. Or anti-war demonstrators gathered in the city's main square. Here we have to match each one with its definition. Ultra means far beyond average. Mal means undesirable or bad. Auto means done by yourself. Semi means done or exists only partially. Anti means opposing or against something. We have here an application. We have to use one of these prefixes into the spaces. Number 1 is done for you. Only the ultra rich can afford a fleet of private planes. Number 2, after the accident she was only what conscious and couldn't speak, so they took her to hospital for tests. She was only semi-conscious. Number 3, all the systems went down after the main computer experienced a major malfunction. Number 4, I have an what graft book from my favorite author. I have an autographed book from my favorite author. Number 5, Martin doesn't go out much. He's rather antisocial. We have here some phrasal verbs with the verb break. Break. break down. Break down here means to stop working. Break away means to escape. Break off means to come off or to come apart. Break out, it means to start suddenly or like fire. Break into, it means to enter a place by force. Break up, it means breaking something into pieces. Number 1 is with F, it means break up means to break something into a smaller pieces. Number 2, to stop working. To stop working is to break down. Number 3, to come off or to come apart, it means to break off. Number 4, to enter a place by force, it means to break into. Number 5, to start. To start here, it means to break out. To escape here, it means to break away. Here we have to complete the paragraph with a word from exercise 1 or from the box. Even the most intelligent inventor will struggle and fail at something, but it's important not to get angry and allow failure to frustrate you. Every inventor faces setbacks, but successful inventors will persevere until they overcome their obstacles. Of course, repeated failures can aggravate the financial problems that most inventors encounter, but money is available from a variety of sources, from private investors to government funding. Obviously, adequate financial resources enable the inventor to conduct further experiments and to be patient until a breakthrough occurs. However, this only happens to the lucky few. Thank you for watching the video. See you next time. Goodbye.